Well, the Wolf Tracks. I'm Bobby the Wolf Mullins, your paranormal shock jock, your DJ, the outlaw, the number one bad boy in paranormal. That's right. That's me. Just ask. Anyway, you listen to Skid Row, Slave to the Grind. I figured it was appropriate because the Wolf's in a good mood. Let me get my disclaimer right quick. You don't like what you see. You don't like what you hear. The topics, the language, hell, the equipment. Which, by the way, I got a gift. Let's see here. A little apple pie moonshine I've already gotten into. They got a little of that blackberry. Whoa, you ain't tried this. A little blackberry moonshine. Yeah, that little witch I know named Regina sent the old Wolf a gift card to a liquor store. And I blew it on some moonshine. That's right. So we might be getting a little drunk today because I'm in a damn good mood. I put my 2 weeks notice in at my other job, and I got a better job. So let's just say the old Wolf gave himself a raise. And nothing makes the world go around like money. And I'm going to be making more money. At the real world job. Not this thing, because I don't get paid for this. This is just fun. But anyway, I gave my disclaimer. So if you don't like it, you know. Well, before we dig into the another Birthright beer. Yes, I've been drinking, and I'm in a good mood. So, yeah, I mean, I'm catching up with the pack, let's just say. Old Night Wolf's doing good in Florida. Yeah, Demon Wolf's getting his job back. He was on a little furlough, we'll say. His place of employment shut down on him temporarily and is reopening. So he'll be back at work making that good, fat money. Yeah, and Spirit Wolf, he's doing good. He's running the old GTN thing. Real world job's doing good for him. Happy family, the whole 9 yards. And let's see, I don't know, Southern Wolf's doing good, making that money. Dragon Wolf and Mystic Wolf, they're doing good. They're going to start school soon. and for that Catholic thing. But anyway, brother, Metal Wolf, I know you're doing good. You're in a better place. And I know you're looking down on your pack brothers, and you're proud. And as long as I'm around, nobody's going to forget you. Nobody's going to forget you as long as I'm around. So here's to you, bud. Oh, my God, that's good. Damn, I love a beer. But, let's see if I got to pick anybody. Lone Wolf's doing okay. He's still kicking. He's the older wolf, but he's still kicking. Any other wolves I forgot? I mean, you know, there's so many of us now. Our honorary member, Darewolf. Werewolf. A Darewolf. That's what he wants to call himself. That's the artist that does or airbrushes the jackets. A really great guy named Lynn Workman. He wants to be known as Darewolf, as in the old, what is the Young Frankenstein skit thing? Werewolf, Darewolf. So he's an honorary member. We got 2 new pack members. And if we got 2 new pack members, I got to play the appropriate song, don't you think? Well, let's hit the music. We got 2 new pack members. That's right. One by lineage. Because lineage counts. It's gone 3 generations in my family. 3. So we got another one with lineage. And his name's Tiger Wolf. You know, as in the stripes and the claws and And then we got Celtic Wolf. Invited in by a friend, Tiger Wolf decided to bring in his own member. Well, Pro B, you're in. So you boys, you got to get your jackets made. Anyway, they're going to get the jackets made. So the pack's growing. So keep that in mind. And White Wolf, that's me. I'm doing okay. I'm catching up with everybody. And we're going to have a good time, guys. We're going to have a good time on the show. Oh, and I got to give a couple of shouts out. Number 1, Regina. Thank you for the gift thing and the celebratory thing on my new job. I have an odd fan base. I bash Catholicism, something fierce. So this one goes out. This shout out goes out to my niece, Alex, and her best friend, BFF, Kirsten, who happen to be fans of this psychotic ass show known as Wolf Tracks and Bobby the Wolf Mullins. So hi girls, how's it going? So today we're going to talk about time travel. So anyway, time travel. What does old Bobby the Wolf Mullins know about time travel? All right, let's start with what we know. There's a guy named Hammer, Professor Hammer, I believe his name is. He has a device that supposedly is light. Okay, it's light beams, and he's spinning a vortex in the center with light. He's speeding the air up with light. Now, according to him and his figures, he can make a vortex. Now, he can't shoot things into the future, but he can shoot things into the past. It's got to be really, really small. He's figured out he can put protons. Now, we're talking small. For all you science people out there, he's saying he can take a proton and put it in the past. That's behind you. For all you people who aren't paying attention. All right. Now, he says if he spins it up for 1 and down for 0 and sends a line of these things in the past, and someone can read it, he's sending what's called binary code. The only problem with that is you can only send it back to what, the 70s? Not so much further back. I don't know the exact date when binary code was invented. But it can't go much past when it was invented. And he has to do it close to our time, I believe, because I don't think anything would have a device that can read protons spinning. But think about it. If he's already set that in motion, that the possibility of sending things back into the past, that's now. That's doing it now. That starts a new timeline where time travel is possible. Okay, there you go. Now, the problem with time travel is time travel is the word of the day, right? Try not to do it with beer. Anyway, the problem with time travel is you got to exceed the speed of light. All right. A lot of heavy math. I don't want to get into it because I probably don't know it. But anyway, you got to go faster than the speed of light to go into the future or the past. The problem is the faster you accelerate something, the heavier it gets, the more fuel you need, the more propulsion you need. It's an ongoing vicious cycle. So for our technology now that we know of, we can't do it. Now, sweating like a hoe in church. Huh. It's hot in the old Wolf Tracks compound. Anyway, so now let's delve into something else, shall we? All right, the Nazis. Germany. World War II. They had a group of scientists working on vertical takeoff. Background music. Anyway, they're working on the theory of vertical takeoff because we were bombing the bejesus out of their runway so their planes couldn't take off. So they had a guy working on disc technology for a disc takeoff on some sort of suction engine. Yeah, I said suction. All right. Then we had the brothers that were working on the flying wing, which we use to this day. B-2 bomber, ring a bell, anyone? That was considered a UFO. All right. And then we have Werner von Braun, the guy who helped start NASA. Nazi-assisted Space Association. Think about it. Anyway, his propulsion systems are what we use to this day to get to space. And he said that in his lifetime, if they follow his plans, we could actually make it to Mars and have an orbital space station around Mars. Ooh, a little Brittany Fox. Ain't heard this one in a while. Oh, and YouTube. I don't get paid for this. So, the little 16-year-old guy who's up in my... Spin, brother, spin. Ha ha! Yeah, anyway, now, there was one more item they made. The Wunderwaffe, known as Die Glocke, also translated into the bell. Now, there's a thing that they call it the hinge. where they speculate Die Glocke, or the bell, was held with chains so it bounced around and wouldn't take off and all that. Well, UFO hunters have already proven that was just a support base for water towers. Because you look at the hinge, they call it, and you look like to your right, I believe, there's a water tower with the same support base underneath it, but the water tower's on it. So that kind of blows the whole mystery of the hinge out of the water. Now, but there's paperwork showing that they worked on this thing called the Glocke, or the bell. Now, witnesses, I don't know how credible they are, say that this thing hovered, glowed, was shaped like a bell, almost like a stupa, if you're familiar with the Hindus, or the Buddhists, I mean. And you know, Buddha was in a stupa, which is a bell. Another burp's like beer. Apparently I'm on the right track. Buddha blessed me with a burp. Anyway, there is a Buddhist temple that's covered in stupas, these bell-shaped things, and they're perforated. One of them's taken apart. Well, all these stupas have a Buddha inside. Now, the Buddha's hands are, like they're operating levers. So like they're in that position. And they say Buddha ascended and descended to earth. So they're saying that the Buddha ascended and descended in these stupas, meaning rockets or a spacecraft. But now the Nazis were big into ancient tech, the cult, anything mystical or magical, the skulls, the ley lines, ancient power plants, the Ark of the Covenant, pieces of the cross, the Spear of Destiny. They sent troops out to find these things, the Holy Grail. So now this bell thing was shaped like a bell. It had weird cultic writing on the bottom. And like I said, it glowed. When it spun up, supposedly it had an engine on top and bottom in there, and it spun in opposite directions, glowed brightly and hovered. They had to hold it down or it'd take off. And they're saying that it would generate enough current to create a pocket dimension, something it could slip through and time travel. Well, now at the end of World War II, supposedly the head SS guy over the scientist, I forget his name, and you know what? Research and development has made me forget his name. But anyway, you look it up on Google or Wikipedia, and you'll find it. There's never been a body found of this guy. They think he left in Die Glocke, or the bell. So if he left in Die Glocke or the bell, that means he's time traveling. Now, in Kecksburg, I think it's Kecksburg. Little King Cobra for you that time. Anyway, in Kecksburg, they have what's called the Flying Acorn, or whatever. This gold acorn or whatever came flying in. Just coming in like, and it turned. The damn thing turned and come back. And it's on fire. Smoke and stuff billowing out of it. It turns and it's going over this forest area almost as if it's looking for a place to land. And it crashes into a tree line. Well, now that tree line's still there, and you see evidence of the trees breaking at an angle where this thing had crashed. And apparently eyewitnesses said there was a large, what they described as a large gold acorn laying on the ground, which would be bell-shaped. Take an acorn, turn it upside down. Well, the little lid on the acorn, put that on the bottom. That's the shape of this thing. All right, now, on that little lid, or whatever, on this big-ass gold acorn, there was cultic writing. Someone copied it down. And apparently it matches Die Glocke, or the bell. I'm speaking German. You're learning a lot on Wolf Tracks. Bilingual on Wolf Tracks. Anyway, now, of course, as soon as it crashed and there was eyewitnesses, the military showed up. Flatbed trucks, military cordoned off the area, chased everybody out. It's a biohazard area, whatever. It's a military site, get the hell away, no pictures, no whatever, and gone. And it's gone. We don't know where it went. But now, if that's a time machine, they took it, supposedly, according to a military witness, they took it to that military base in Ohio. The name eludes me. But it's a big military base. Supposedly has a lot of alien craft in it. The red flag, because the wolf loves red flags, about this is one of the witnesses said that they ordered a lot of ceramic brick. Now, according to the German files, they used a lot of ceramic brick as insulators for this Die Glocke. They're using it at this Air Force base in Ohio. A lot of this industrial Air Force brick comes in. Well, he said, the eyewitness, said they were using it to seal in or seal up this time machine. So could it be Die Glocke? And they're sealing it up because they either can't figure it out or it's too dangerous to figure out. And if that's the case, did we figure it out? Because we all know the Philadelphia experiment. And if you don't know, large battleship, they decided to use electricity and set up like a lot of high voltage around this battleship so it would throw off radar. Now, it was only supposed to be invisible to radar. Now, according to sources, they say this whole ship disappeared. Now, when it did, it went into what's like a wormhole. Now, while this was going on, the soldiers or Navy guys or whatever on the boat were walking around the boat. Well, the walls are now transparent. They're walking through walls, falling through the floors and the deck of the ship, and just kind of floating in limbo. Well, when the ship reappeared, some of them were stuck in the walls and the floor because they turned solid again and caught them. A couple of guys supposedly went overboard when this happened, and they fell through class. They fell through time, and they're supposed to be still around or were around, or man, beats the hell out of me. That's way too deep for even the old wolf's mind. But if it's true, that means our government has been working on time travel for a while. Okay, now you're asking, well, how do you know the government's working on time travel? I don't. I just know our government, USA, and other world governments are working on weaponizing anything they can get their hands on. And think about it. Think. That's what I want this show to do. What would happen if a world power had time travel? Good Lord! The damage they could cause. Think about, all right, and think if we're not doing time travel, think about the picture of the guy that's at the, I think it's Golden Gate Bridge when it was unveiled, and he's standing there. He's got sunglasses on that seal around the eyes. They're not of that time era. His hair looks almost gelled. He's wearing what looks like a hoodie, which they don't have those back then. And his shirt, his t-shirt, this is silk screen, okay? That wasn't done until like the 60s, late 60s. And we're talking about in the 40s. So this guy's got a silk screen t-shirt on, a little out of place, and a high-tech camera in his hand, something of not that time. Go figure. There's a video floating around of like a college letting out back in the 50s. And everybody's coming around this corner. Well, this one girl's coming around the corner, and she's literally, I've seen the video. She's holding what looks like a cell phone in her hand, holding a conversation. In the 50s, they did not have cell phones. How the hell did that get back there? And how about the picture of the little boy standing randomly at the signing of the truce of the Civil War between North and South, Ulysses S. Grant and Robert E. Lee? He's just standing there. Lincoln's supposedly there and all this other mess. And there's a boy there in like tennis shoes, pants rolled up, look like he has jeans on. Where the hell did that come from? If there's no such thing as time travel. And this guy exists. He says he's the one that was in the picture. And he can give times, dates, all this crazy. He's part of a program where we watch time. And according to rumor, supposedly, the Catholic Church has in the Vatican vault an 8mm reel. Film footage of the crucifixion of Christ. Now, wait a second. How in the world did the Vatican get an 8mm reel or a film of the crucifixion of Christ? Unless there's such thing as time travel. Oh boy, this gets deep. I'm telling you guys. Oh, CIA, FBI, Homeland, CDC, all that, whatever. Here's the deal. I drink a lot. And I'm talking about time travel, so alright. A friend of mine got his computer taken over because he dug a little deep into time travel. And I'll tell you the video he did. You take over my computer, I don't give a shit. Ain't nothing about 80s crap, cartoons, and probably my kids' video games. I don't know. Some Wolf Tracks videos, you can watch those. Go to YouTube. Save you some time. But anyway, he's digging, time travel. Goes to some chat rooms, does whatever, talks to a guy refers him to a video refers him here, back, bing, 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 bing. He's going all over the place. Well, he finally gets to a video. Now, supposedly, he said the video was on YouTube. It was an interview with a guy who said he's been to Mars and back. What? That's impossible, right? All right, now, according to this guy, and I trust him, he said that the guy didn't travel in a rocket because a rocket takes too long. He traveled on a beam of light. His molecules were broke down. He broke down the molecules, beamed, basically like a transporter beam, to Mars and put back together. Supposedly, the aliens gave us the technology back in 72. They visited us in the 60s and gave us the technology to do this in 72. Now, according to him and this guy, hold on, sweating like a whore in church, or a senator in front of a courtroom. Oh, the president being impeached, whatever you want to call it. Now, all right, now let's get the headset back on so I can hear you guys and my music. All right, now, according to this guy who had pictures, my source said, of him with an indigenous life form on Mars, he said that the rovers are landing in deserts. Because we know there's life there. They've already made contact with us. The reason the planet appears orange is because there's a lot of dust in the air. And the dust is orange off the planet. Now, the wind shear on the planet is so high that it keeps it a dusty hue or orange. Now, NASA's showing us pictures we want to see of barren wastelands. That's where the rovers are landing. So we can, so the government can say there's no life on Mars. Now, apparently, Mars, along with Earth now, belongs to the, I hate to make a football reference, but the Big 12. Apparently, there's 12 planets. Each one of them is a little older than the other one, or a lot older. And as they go down the line, they help each other. They're more advanced as they go up. The first one, which isn't us, sorry, politicians and governors and all that stuff. Sorry, you self-centered bastards. We're not the biggest fish in the pond. All right. Apparently, there's one planet that's so advanced, not even Mars can talk to them. They have to have like interpreter stuff. We would have a hard time. We're like Neanderthals to them. We're still very primitive. They're waiting for us to straighten our act up to bring us into this 12. And the guy said the weird thing was, they're not Greys. They're not reptilian. They're not Nordics. They're not whatever the hell else people, the tall white, the ant people. All right? They are humans. Now think about that for a minute. They're humans. That means the perfect form to colonize a planet is human. A bipedal humanoid. That means we were given a boost from other planets. They were seeding other planets and watching us grow like a virus in a petri dish. And they're helping us along. And they're peaceful, according to what this guy said on this video. Now, he said there are warlike planets out there. But for the most part, they're peaceful. But the Big 12 are very intellectual. And they're trying to bring us in. You know what? I don't know. I think it's a great theory. I have no proof. Sorry. I just told my friend I'd do this because while he's looking at this video, all of a sudden his computer starts going nuts. The mouse starts moving on its own. Not the actual mouse, but the arrow on the computer screen. It goes to his startup menu, goes into his documents and files, pulls all of them down, goes over to the other corner and pulls up his history, so of course it can copy it, to see how he found this link. Now, this video is no longer on YouTube. It had about 500 hits on it, and if any of you fans have a copy of it, I would love to see it. onewhitewolf0706@att.net. Please send it to me. I would love to see this video of this guy, this interview talking about he traveled to Mars on a light beam. I would love to see this because apparently he had pictures of him and one of the indigenous life forms, which is human, just a little different looking, but human, higher than us intelligent-wise, in front of what looks like a cityscape of domed buildings because the wind shear on the planet is so high. Now I know this pushes the realms of thinking outside the box, but if it's true, that's awesome. Why would they pull the video down off YouTube? Why would his computer get taken over and all this stuff get examined? There's some poor 18-year-old intern going, really? I got to look at all this history and everything. And he turns in like a 600-page report saying, look, the guy was just following leads and he ended up there and he wasn't even trying. You know, he's just poking around. All right. It's just funny how I don't think government thinks we're ready for the idea that we're not alone. And the funny thing is, it isn't the general public that's not ready for the idea. Think about it. It's not the general, it's not you, it's not me, it's not the average everyday Joe that is not ready for the idea of alien life or other life on other planets. It's organized religion. It's not the Hindus. It's not the Buddhists. It's not the Indian cultures. Because they all say we came from the stars. They're ready for acknowledgement that they were right. The Mayans and Aztecs even have statues with guys with weird helmets on, humanoid face. Operate levers and shit. Which one? Catholicism. Islam. They don't want to hear that. But yet, the Muslim religion goes around a big black square with a meteorite in it they worship. Something from space they worship. Catholicism does not like anything to interrupt their way of life. In other words, their control and their money. If you doubt that, look at the Vatican. It's a city unto itself. It makes its own money. If they're honest, if they're telling the truth, why will they not let anybody in the catacombs of the Vatican to look at the information they've stored over the centuries? Is there something in there they don't want us to see? If being Catholic, you have to follow certain guidelines, why did the Catholic Church allow Da Vinci to take bodies into the catacombs and cut them up? Big no-no in Catholicism. Shame on you. No. Allow that to happen so they could get a breakdown of the human body with his artwork. Look up Da Vinci's artwork and look at the detail in the inner human body that he did. He did that by cutting up cadavers in the catacombs of the Vatican. Really? Look up a priest named Bruno. He theorized and tried to prove that the earth revolved around the sun. Something we know for a fact happens now. But then, being as narrow-minded as Catholicism is, they burned him at the stake for being a heretic. Because according to Catholicism, everything revolved around the earth. The entire universe revolved around the earth. There's one God, there's one planet, and only one species of human or intelligent life, and that's human. And everything revolves around them. We're finding out slowly that's not true. Proof? The Vatican has a telescope. They have big telescope. And they gave a disclosure that there's the possibility of intelligent life other than what's on this planet. Name of the telescope, anyone? Class. Anyone know the name of the telescope? I do. And for that, I owe myself a beer. The name, get this, the name of the telescope is Lucifer. You don't know who, all of you who don't know who Lucifer is, that's the devil. And if Catholics hate the devil so much, why in the would you name the telescope Lucifer? Really? Red flag? Hello? I just have a problem with organized religion. I would love, personally, love to see God come down to every church, every one of them, and go, give me the money. You've been collecting tithes for me. Give me the money. Because the money don't go to him. But they're collecting money in the name of God for the church. Churches don't pay taxes. Why? Preachers don't work, but on Sunday, and get paid a lot of money. Why? Because the flock, like a bunch of turkeys, are ignorant and blind, like a bunch of sheep. They just follow, he speaks the word of God really well. I'm going to follow him, I'll give him my whole paycheck. No, he's driving around a Cadillac, 2 or 3 of them, that was bought by the church. And this goes for Methodist too, and Baptist. Because I'm Methodist, and I've seen the preacher I had. This has got a free car. The house was paid for by the church. He had the church's lawn man, or the groundskeeper, doing his yard work every week for free. Because he's the preacher. Do you think God would want that? I thought you're supposed to work hard, be in his image, be an outstanding human, man, male, female, whatever. I didn't know you were supposed to sit on your butt and read a book once a week and get paid an exorbitant amount of money because of tithes or offerings. Now, all you organized religion people can hate me if you want to. It's an opinion. And if you doubt me, look at your preacher. See how he gets paid. And look at these big churches and see how he gets paid. Yeah. My kids went to a Baptist school for a little while. Boy, that was a mistake. Oh my God. You talk about backwards and closed-minded. And just, they wanted to come in my house, see how I lived. They wanted to see what kind of living is about. It's none of your damn business. You stick to church. You teach my kids. You don't come to tell me how to raise them. Period. Sorry, that's not going to happen. Anyway, now that I finished my rant, and we talked a little bit about time travel, and the government taking over a computer, and Mars, Catholicism, which I'm not a big fan of, but hey, and I acknowledge some friends. This thing's ran a little long, and I'm a little drunk. I'm gonna have a little hit of this. Apple pie moonshine is the bomb. I don't care what anybody says. This is good shit. Oh. Take your breath away. Anyway, we're gonna close this motherfucker out just the way only Wolf Tracks fans know. Remember, GTN product, Wolf Tracks, Richard Teresa Parnell, GTN, shameless plug. Contact me if you need me. Drop me off a picture. Tell me my show sucks. Tell me it rocks. Whatever. OneWhiteWolf0706 at att.net. Go to Ustream.com to see the older episodes. Go to GhostTalesTV.com Check out the latest episodes and YouTube.com. Check me out, like me, subscribe to my channel, and always remember Papa Colwyn for your boy the Wolf. And remember, open your eyes, open your mind, and open your ears. Pay attention to what walks by, crawls by, flies by, woohoo, and slithers by. And if you get a picture of it, send it to Bobby the Wolf Mullins. Okay, my email. Car guy thing. Anyway, and we're going to close this thing out on 3, guys. 1, 2, 3. Holla at your boy!